Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat uvayom ha-shevi'i Shabbat vayinafash. Everyone is familiar with these words, taken from Shemot 31, from the Kiddush recited in Shul after davening on Shabbos morning. What's less paid attention to are the final words of the segment, Shabbat vayinafash. These two words encapsulate the essence of the Kiddush and of the whole purpose of our Shabbat experience. Let me explain. I remember when I first became more religiously observant, over 20 years ago. I was attending an Israeli yeshiva at the time. I have a vivid memory of myself sitting down with somebody more advanced than me and learning the laws of Shabbos in depth for the first time. We were learning the book Shmirat Shabbat Kehilchata, an extremely detailed work. We arrived at the laws of cutting one's fingernails. My study partner, who was basically teaching me the laws, told me that I can't cut my nails, nor even bite them on Shabbos. I remember thinking to myself, this is crazy. There are unlimited things you can't do on Shabbos, and now he's telling me I can't bite my nails as well? Immediately, I started biting them out of nervousness. This summed up my experience when I was first exposed to the laws of Shabbat. I felt overwhelmed and bogged down. But in time, I realized there is another dimension to Shabbat observance, the immense beauty and pleasure that can come from cessation of work. And this aspect is hinted at in the final two words of the Kiddush, Shabbat vayinafash. The first stage is what I was learning about with my study partner, Shabbat, which means to refrain from work. But if we stop there, we miss the whole purpose of Shabbat. After all of the rest, the main purpose is vayinafash. What does this word mean? One approach says that vayinafash means vacation, as in nofesh, the Hebrew word for vacation. Through refraining from work and removing ourselves from the world, we take a much-needed break. No phones, no computers, no manual labor. It's an opportunity to take a break from it all and relax. Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch offers another interpretation. He says vayinafash stands for nefesh, soul, highlighting the importance of soul-searching and self-reflection on this sacred day. On the seventh day, Hashem was Shabbat vayinafash. Hashem separated from creation and became an individual essence, a nefesh, a soul. And similar to Hashem, we as well must reflect on ourselves as individuals and take time to think about life. Our cessation of work every week offers this opportunity. What I'd like to focus on, however, is a third interpretation. And this is the most straightforward way to understand the term. Nefesh means soul or spirit. Refraining from work enables us to find space in our week for our spirit, for spirituality, to spiritualize our lives. Here's another story from that same period to help clarify this objective. When I was in that same yeshiva in Yerushalayim, my father would come every 9 months or so to visit me. And we would spend Shabbos in Beit Vagan in Jerusalem with our family who resided in that neighborhood. If you've ever visited the area on Shabbos, you would know that it's a special place to be. 2 out of the 3 main streets are closed down, and everyone is out, walking the streets, connecting, and enjoying Shabbos. It was a Friday night in the summer, and we had just finished eating way too much at one of my relatives' homes. So we decided to go for a stroll and move around our bodies a bit. It was 11 p.m., and there weren't many people on the street. But as we strolled, we began to hear noise. And it only escalated. And then, screaming. It alarmed both of us. We didn't know what was happening. We moved closer to the source of the commotion. and it turned out it was coming from an empty synagogue. In Beit Vagan at the time, many synagogues were just left open for people to come in over Shabbos. So we carefully walked through the doors and discovered the source of the upheaval. It was two men with beards and hot Wissoski tea in hand, learning Torah. They were laughing, screaming, and just living it up at 11 o'clock at night in an empty synagogue. To this day, my father's response to this is etched in my mind. He simply seemed amazed that people would do this on their day off, late at night, by themselves. I share with him that this is what people do in these circles on Shabbat. And this is what we did in my yeshiva on Shabbat as well. The day was set aside for learning things we enjoyed. It was the most beautiful of times. This is Vayinafash. Shabbat is not just a break or vacation. And it's not just a time to reflect important endeavors unto themselves. It's a time to grow spiritually. We are reading our Parshiot about the Exodus from Egypt. This week we learn about the 7 plagues that struck the Egyptians. If we were to stop in these Parshiot, which discuss our cessation of labor in Egypt, we will miss the whole point of the story. Anyone with the bird's eye view is able to see that as we left Egypt, the goal was to receive the Torah. And then after that, to enter the land of Israel, the promised land, and bring all of that holiness with us. This is the secret of Shabbat Vayinafash. It's so important to not stop at the Shabbat part. We are in the middle of our Beth Tfiloh Shabbat experience. This is the time, this Shabbos, to experiment a bit with Vayinafash. Maybe for you it will be through making a concerted effort to engage in deep conversation over Shabbos about essential topics. Maybe it will be by means of downloading a Dvar Torah and sharing it at the dinner table. Or maybe it will be just about getting out of your pajamas or sweats for the first time in half a year and putting on clean, pressed Shabbos clothes. Whichever path each one of us takes, let's try to challenge ourselves this Shabbos to move beyond Shabbat to Vayinafash. Through this, we will enter our own promised land with all the blessings that accompany a spiritualized life. Shabbat Shalom.